What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Landscaping video for you guys as promised. Haven't gotten a whole bunch of landscaping stuff or landscaping content for you guys, so I apologize about that. I told you guys I was going to get you some, but it's just taking a little bit longer. So I'm usually like a little rush sometimes with just trying to get back home to the kid and the wife, and that's just life sometimes. So I don't have time to get out the camera, make landscaping videos, and have time to edit them and edit them when I get back home and then get them out to you guys. So more of the car stuff that's more like weekend stuff when I have a little bit of extra time to make the video, edit, get it out to you guys, and that's how that happens. But today is a weekend, so my wife just got home from work, and I came out to do some work. So I have a little bit more time on my hands right now to get you guys a landscaping video. So all right, sorry about that, guys. Customer came out and gave us a new plan for today, so gonna be making some extra money here today in today's video. But we got a lot of sticks to clean up here. We had a storm here in Cleveland, Ohio, some really high winds, a lot of trees knocked over, which means a lot of leaves and a lot of debris and branches, especially dead branches, falling over in people's yards. So extra money to be made cleaning up, a bunch of sticks everywhere. So we'll do all that, and then we'll come back with the weed eater, edge up everything, trim everything, and then we'll stripe it up with the mower for this backyard. Had to change my shirt too after the customer conversation, so got some extra work to do here, guys. Always a good time to make some extra money. We gotta trim these hedges both sides. I did part of the other side of this yard last week, but it started to rain and pour, and I just did not want to stay out here and do these bushes on this side. So I got all those bushes done on that side, started right there, and that's where it started raining real heavy on me, and we left all of this for next time, which is today. So I'll get you guys probably have 30 seconds of this, because I know that can get boring just cutting bushes and watching that. So we'll probably do this section right here. This is the worst, biggest section. So we'll trim up top, bottom, side, show you guys a couple seconds of that video, clean up that backyard, clean up this backyard, bring the tarp out to the front, dump all the branches, start in the front yard, do the same thing, trim everything up, edge everything up, and then we'll come back with the mower, and then I'll show you guys the extra work we got to do here too. We got 2 bushes over here we got to take out, so this is part of what the customer came out and talked to me about. So she wants this gone here, cut it down to the stump, put everything in bags. Same thing with this one right here. So take this whole thing out, cut it down to the stump, cut it up even further, put it in the bags. Put down some weed killer around these beds last week, so I'm really liking that. Had a bunch of weeds and tall grasses growing up in all these beds here that I had to keep weed eating every single time I came, but weed killer to the rescue. Got some trash to clean up on that tree lawn. This tree lawn always gets a bunch of trash in it because it's so wide open, and there's no trees obviously, so all the wind and leaves come this way into open areas and build up. Weed killer in the driveway on both driveways. So leading into my next point here, guys, so getting yards right next to each other or yards on the same street, that is a landscaper's dream. That's what we want to do. Why? Because of convenience. You park your truck, you park your trailer in one spot, you hit all your yards in one area, boom, you've made your money quickly and efficiently. And that's the biggest thing with landscaping and what landscapers like. We like efficiency, we like speed. That's why we buy the expensive commercial mowers and expensive equipment to get the job done faster and still produce good quality work, or do the work that other people don't want to do, which is the skill aspect of it, of cleaning up sticks that nobody wants to clean up, trimming around a bunch of trees and a bunch of landscape and a bunch of vegetation that nobody wants to do, cutting a big area with a lawnmower that nobody wants to do with a small little 21-inch residential mower. You'll be back here for 2 hours trying to cut the grass back here. But with the commercial mower, you can produce stripes, get it done fast with a bigger deck size mower, and get going and make your money. So I'm about to get going here, guys. Got a lot of work to do. Had to switch my shirt from that long sleeve cotton shirt because I thought I was just going to be doing a little bit of bush work, edge trim, cut, get out of here. But we've got some debris to pick up. We've got bushes to trim, bushes to cut down, take out, grass to cut, to trim and edge up. So I had to switch to the more friendly, breathable shirt. So I will get going here, guys. I will show you guys a few seconds of each task, and I will get you guys out of here. All right, guys, starting off here in the backyard of the second property that I do here on this street. I use the tarp method. We're picking up sticks right now, so I use the tarp method first. I go all the way to the backside and basically work myself in a diagonal type of situation and put all the sticks on the tarp, and then carry straight through this path here and out to the front yard. So that's what we're going to do right here, right now. All right, so you guys just saw me do the backyard there. Again, I do it the tarp method. If any of you other guys that are landscapers and watch this video, let me know what you guys do as far as how you clean up sticks in people's yards, the fastest way you do it, excuse me. For me, I've just found that that's the fastest way for me to do, especially a big yard like that or a bigger type backyard. The tarp method works. Just start all the way in the back of the yard and zigzag your way till you get to the front of the backyard, and then walk your way out to the front and do the same thing for the front yard like I'm about to do here. I usually start out in this corner right here because my dump spot for all my sticks is that far right corner. So it makes sense for me to start and collect everything on this side of the front yard, then head over to the tree lawn, and then zigzag up to the far side or the top side of that side of the front yard, work my way down, and then my last spot is that part of the tree lawn, and then my last spot is the dump spot. So for me, that's how I quickly pick up sticks in people's yards before I go to the cutting and trimming stage, and then I do the same thing for the next yard as well. Something else real quick here, guys, that I forgot to tell you guys or mention. I'm doing an extensive stick cleanup, so they are paying me extra to do this in this yard and in that yard for the storm damage that we just got a couple days ago. So for a regular routine maintenance, I wouldn't do all of this stick cleanup. I would still do it the same zigzag way, but I wouldn't be picking up all the little tiny sticks and stuff like that either. And then another tip is, as you're doing the sticks, clean up the trash as well. You're killing two birds with one stone, but again, make sure it's something that you're being paid for. If you're not being paid to pick up all the sticks and the trash, then don't do that. You're just wasting your own time and not being an efficient landscaper. If you want to do that, make sure that you're being compensated at least a little bit by your customers if you're picking up a bunch of sticks and trash throughout the yard each and every time you go to cut that yard routinely, because you're missing out on money if you don't. So the routine stuff is just like stuff like this, stuff you wouldn't run over with your mower, especially if you're a commercial landscaper and you're doing commercial work or have accounts with neighborhoods and stuff like that in people's homes. Don't run this stuff over. Pick this stuff up. This is what you will get paid to pick up before you mow. So that's stuff that you will tree lawn or haul away, and again, charge if you're hauling sticks away. Don't do that for free, because then you pay a dump fee as well wherever you're dumping at, unless you got a nice buddy that you're dumping somewhere for free, but your customers don't have to know that. So again, we're picking up the sticks here for routine maintenance stuff. The smaller sticks and stuff like this, I would say this would be something for me in my business that I would pick up. I would pick up something like this and toss it on the tarp. But let's say something like this for routine maintenance, I probably would leave this down. If I saw it and my eyes glazed over it as I was doing my zigzag walkthrough, and I was right there, and this was my next step, like if I'm taking a step here and I saw it right here, I'd pick it up. But if I didn't see it and it was this small, I wouldn't worry about it too much. So when I come across stuff like this, bigger sticks like this is the stuff that you absolutely want to get up before you go mowing. Why? Because I've said this in previous videos, you run stuff over like that, that is when you start dulling out your blades. And when you go to sharpen your blades, you'll see how dull they are, and you'll see it in your stripes too as well. They won't be as defined. The grass that you're cutting will be more of a ripped look rather than a clean cut look, and it won't look as good. So you always want to keep those blades nice and sharp. And how you do that is, I've said this in previous videos, pick up all the debris in the yard first before you start mowing. I know it's hard to in the fall to see every single little stick. You try to just get the big stuff first and then chop up all the leaves with the mulching blades while you're cutting as well. But just again, try your best, do the best you can. You're getting paid to do this, but if you're doing it for free, obviously go about it how you want. I just do the best job that I can, and that's how I have retained customers and have gotten new customers. Actually, I get more new customers out of word of mouth rather than I do with a business card or anything like that. So that has been a big key point in my landscaping career. So all right, enough of me talking. We got to get back to work. We got 2 yards to do right here and a lot to do. Making our way to the first backyard that I came across, or the first backyard that I showed you guys in the first part of the video. But same thing here. We're going to start all the way in the back by the white fence and zigzag and work our way up to the front and head right on out to the front yard and do the same thing in the front yard, picking up all these sticks and debris and trash before we get to the edging, trimming, and mowing stage. Okay guys, we are an hour and a half in. All these sticks in this backyard have been picked up and tarped and taken to the front. That backyard as well, this front yard and the front where we're going right now. I also cut down both of these bushes that we looked at earlier. Here's some of the sticks that we picked up. The rest of them are all in the bags. Those are the 2 bushes that we cut down and bagged up. She wanted them bagged up, so charged her extra for that, because time is money. So it wasn't just cutting them down and dragging them to the tree lawn. You got to cut them down into smaller pieces and then bag them up. But obviously now you can't tell that they were ever even there. Obviously a little bit from my footprints and some of the moved around mulch, but one bush was there. The bigger one was on this side, had a little less mulch to cover everything back up. She did not want the stumps dug up and taken out. She didn't want to pay for that. So we cut the stumps as even with the ground as possible without dulling out our chainsaw. And then we laid everything here and cut it up into smaller pieces, bagged it all up. And as you see my drag mark here with the tarp, put all the bags on the tarp, drug it all the way there. So we didn't have to make 8 trips because we got 8 bags. One big trip with the tarp into the garage, all bagged up. She says she's going to bring it out with her garbage during the week so the garbage men can pick it up. Now we are on to these hedges right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the hedge trimmers out, gas it up, and we are going to get this whole side finished up. Remember, I already did all of those bushes on that side the first day I came last week, and then it got poured and rained on. Stopped at about here, still had this amount left, but came back this week because we were cutting the grass this week. So I said I'll just leave it for the next week, and here we are. So I'm going to get that done. I'll probably set you guys up right here, and we'll cut 30 seconds of that portion of the bush right there, and then I'll show you guys the after, and then we'll get into edging and trimming and then cutting our stripes. I'm going to change out my blades on the right Velke to some mulching blades because we got a lot of leaves from the storm down, and I want to mulch all these up so it leaves a clean look after we're done. But I got to change those out. I got some high lift blades on here. The high lifts were basically to do what high lift blades do: lift up the grass, cut it, and shoot it far. I wasn't, or mainly most of the time, I'm not mulching or have the mulch advanced shoot system down. So the advanced shoot system right here that we got put on the mower from Marshall Power Equipment, who installed it in Chagrin Falls. So thank you to those guys. This thing has been working absolutely great. So it absolutely works good in this yard particularly, because I don't bag unless I am told to bag by my customers, because I charge for that, because again, it is extra work. and you need to charge for your extra work, guys, because that is extra work to bag it while you're mowing, and then take that bagger off and put all those clippings into another bag, into an actual plastic bag, and then put onto the tree lawn or into a garbage can. So you guys should be charging for bagging as well, so don't cut yourself short. But again, this yard here, I do have that advanced chute system down. As you guys just saw what the advanced chute system is, I do have that down for this yard, and it works absolutely great for this yard, so I don't blow grass into the mulch over there and grass into these mulch tree rings here, or grass into these hedges right here on both sides. And at this side, I usually just weed eat because there's no really edge here, so I just usually weed eat all of this stuff, this little stuff right here that you guys see growing. And then actually another tip for you guys is, I did it over here on this yard, and a little bit over here in this yard too, but I usually put weed killer down at all the areas where I got to do a whole bunch of weed eating. So this was an area that I used to have to weed eat a bunch of, so was that little area right there, but I put weed killer down here. And this is the stuff that you guys can do a little bit for free that I am okay with in my business, because it cuts down a lot of time. So here was another spot where I always have to do a bunch of weed eating because a lot of weeds grow here. So I just threw some weed killer down. So this, I can just basically zip through this now, come up once over, just like almost like a haircut, or just cutting the grass with the mower anyway, but with the trimmer, obviously, come once and boom, down to my actual edging sidewalk. All right.
You need a garage anymore?
No.
Okay.
As you guys just saw, I did this area here, did all of that. Got this last little section here on the side to do. Did the top here on that other side. So, quick tip here, as we've been giving tips all throughout the video. As you guys saw, as I was doing this area, I stood here on this side, and I used the hedge trimmers to cut most of the pieces and lay them down on this side, because we're going to be using our handheld leaf vac, which is an awesome thing to have when doing hedge trimmers, or when doing hedges like this with the small little tiny branches and the small little leaves. That leaf vac will pick all of this stuff up, so I don't have to rake all this up or use the mower to mulch it all up. But that's what we're going to do after, and that's why we didn't cut the grass yet. So some of you guys would have cut the grass and then did this, but you want to do this first so that you can clean up while you're cutting the grass. It's going to save you some time, trust me. But as you guys saw, I stood here, used the hedge trimmers to cut, and then as it was cutting, I was pushing everything that it cut off to this left side and then down on the ground. We got some little stragglers here because it's not going to pick up everything. There is an actual attachment that you guys can buy and put on your hedge trimmers. It's like a guard. It's orange for steel equipment, but it's a guard, so as it's cutting, it cuts those pieces and lays it on the guard. It's like almost like a half circle, but it's, picture my pinky as the hedge trimmers, and then my three fingers here as the guard. So as it cuts with my pinky finger here, it's laying everything on the guard, and everything is catching on the guard as we cut, and then flopping it down over. And that's essentially what I was mimicking with my hedge trimmers here, even though I don't have a guard on mine. But I'm okay with leaving a couple of these behind. But what I'm going to do is pick off some of the stuff that it doesn't catch when I do that. But what I basically am doing that for is to get the majority of what I'm cutting off, so that it leaves a clean finish. Because what you don't want to happen is you don't want to leave a bunch of this stuff, dead stuff in here. You don't want to do this. This is what you don't want to do. You don't want to cut and then leave all of that there, because all that's going to do is sit here. It's going to die out, and this is going to turn brown. All the rest of this is going to be green, and then this stuff that turns brown is going to turn all this area brown too, and that's going to be bad. You don't want that, especially when you're getting paid to do it as a landscaper. Make sure you get at least the majority of this stuff off. So I'm going to finish up here, guys, and then we're going to get on to trimming and then creating our stripes. All right, guys, that was just a quick couple seconds of trimming right here. This is a usual spot that I have to trim around this tree and this big root, because I don't want to drive the mower over top of that. Then you guys just saw me create the haircut finish on this section of the sidewalk and the tree lawn, and then finished off with our edge coming back towards the camera. This is just basically showing you guys how quick and easy it is to do edging and trimming when you've got a yard that you routinely maintain. And if you're doing a routine yard and it takes you a lot longer to do something like that, you're not doing, I don't want to be an a-hole about this, but you're not doing the best job that you can do for the next time that you come back to that yard. I know for a fact edging and trimming is not going to take me very long for these two yards, even though they are bigger sized yards, is because of what I do each time that I come, that I know I'm setting myself up to get done very quickly the next time that I come. So this time that I'm here right now is a very good routine job. It took me about 30 seconds to do this area right here, this tree lawn right here, and then we're going to come back and cut it after we get done edging and trimming everything. But that's the type of work that you guys should be doing. And then stuff like this where grass and weeds usually grow, I put weed killer down here last week, so got a little bit right there in the grass, unfortunately. But now when I come this time, which was the next time after I put the weed killer down, I set myself up for success for right here to cut my time down in this yard. So now I don't have to spend time weed eating this whole area down to the bare ground. Now I can just come, I really don't even have to trim this with the weed eater. I can just go right over this with the mower. But me being myself, I want to make sure I'm always doing the best that I can and leaving the yard in the best condition possible, because that's what I'm paid to do. I'm going to go over it anyway with the weed eater there and make sure this has a nice clean cut finish. So that is just another tip for you guys that are doing landscaping, to set yourself up for success each time you do a routine yard. Let me wipe you guys off here. Got some dust and grass on you, sorry. But that's what you guys should be doing when you're doing routine yards. Just another tip, just like we're giving tips throughout the entire video. And then I'll probably give you guys one more tip with bright Velke 48 inch. And this yard, or maybe you guys a tip here with the advanced chute system of going around trees and not throwing grass into the mulch beds, creating more work for yourself, even though sometimes landscapers do that on purpose so that they can talk to the customer and say, hey, you got weeds growing in your beds, would you like me to take care of that for you? Then you're giving yourself more work. So I can see how that can get you some more work and some more money, but in reality, you should not be throwing grass in people's mulch beds just to get yourself some more work. But I'll show you guys the advanced chute system here in this front yard, and then I'll probably show you some birch stripes in the other backyard, the bigger backyard on that side. Get done here edging and trimming both front and backyards of these two houses, and then I'll come back and get you guys. We'll change our blades to mulch blades on the right Velke, and then we'll go lay down some stripes. All right guys, we are ready to cut. We just got done edging and trimming both yards, so now we are going to bring our walk behind mower down the ramps, set it up on one side of the ramps, zip off our high lift blades, zip on our mulching blades, and then we're ready to go stripe it up. Got our mulching blade ready to go. I am using my handy dandy trusty Milwaukee Impact here to make quick work of this. You can see we got a little bit of grass up under here. Got to clean this deck out after these two mows, but not terrible. Not a bunch of grass built up, but we do got some wet grass sticking there, creating some of that mildew, moss, white, moldy stuff in there. Don't want that sitting too long in there. So let's zip off these high lift blades. I'm actually going to do both of these blades since we got them exposed on this side. There's one. There's two. That's two. Let's go over to the other side here, get that last one on, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Milwaukee, baby. Let's go lay down some stripes. All right, front yards are done. I usually start with the back of this yard and then come up to the front and then go to the back of that yard and finish at the front of this one. But I just had the mower going already, so I just started at the tree lawns, did that front yard first, tree lawns, did this side yard, and then finished with this one. But as you guys can see, laid down some nice stripes. So this is the end of August. So these are what the stripes are looking like in this yard at the end of August. So leaves are going to start dropping here soon within the next month, and we're going to leave our mulching blades on and continue to mulch up these leaves. So as you guys can see, the mulching blades are doing a very good job of leaving the yard just as good as a summer cut with pulverizing the leaves. We are running some Ballard ink mulching blades. So those are the blades that we're running on here. We're gonna go do the backyards now. I'll show you guys the stripes of those and then we'll get out of here. All right, we just got done with the backyard guys here. The Right Velke and the Checkmate are throwing down some awesome looking stripes. Again, this is late August, so these are the end of summer stripes. The leaves, as you guys saw beforehand, are mulched up pretty good. There's still some left behind a little bit. They're not gonna all come out, but they're a lot smaller, which makes it good this time of year, to where you can't see a bunch of buildup of leaves. And we got a little bit of grass here that we can just kick or use the blower when we come back and blow and just kick around. You don't want that stuff sitting and matting down the rest of the grass, so we'll blow this as well. Not a whole lot needed, but just this one little pass here just got some extra grass in it. But this thing is doing an awesome job, guys. If I was to buy another mower, I would buy another one of these if I was still doing it the truck way. Once I get a trailer, I'll obviously up my equipment. I'll probably get a stand on and still keep the walk behind as well to get into some backyards if I need to, if some reason the stand on can't, or I need a stand on for some hill work. This is perfectly fine with the walk behind this little hill here. Not too crazy, but again, stripes are looking nice. We edged everything up. We did the bush work already. Got to come back with a little bit of weed killer over there and over there. But set yourself up for success, guys. So now we are going from this yard over to this yard. We did some horizontals in this yard. This yard, we're going to do some verts, because this one is longer front to back than it is side to side like this one. So let's head on over to this backyard on the other side. All right, guys, just finished up with the backyard, the bigger backyard here. We did some verts. Remember, in that yard we did horizontals left and right, north and south here in this yard. Some verts, stripes looking real good still. Mulched up the leaves that were back here. Last piece here, which is laying down our stripes. So if you guys have watched this far, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and go make that money.